Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. We're taking a look here at TRUFlation. This coin was a request from one of my previous community members, basically a long-term trader of mine, essentially, a CP. Thank you so much again for the request to you and your community. I hope this serves you well. Keep in mind, I just want to throw a couple of disclaimers out there. When you search for this coin, for example, first of all, it's going to be listed on Bitunix tomorrow. They're adding that coin as per our request. We can see here, though, that for the most part, there's a significant amount of arbitrage between different exchanges. So MEXC is going to look a lot different than KuCoin, but the truth is both those listed this coin on April 9th, and it's just one of those situations where we're going to follow the volumes. And technically, KuCoin does have a little bit more volume, therefore slightly better price action. But more importantly, you got to recognize KuCoin is very well known for sporadic spikes in price. In other words, you're going to see larger candle wicks for KuCoin versus other exchanges. So just know that. Anyways, that's kind of a heads up on what's going on there in the back end, I guess you could say. But from a chart perspective, what we're going to look at is a few important factors here. We're going to focus solely on the recent price action here. Obviously, we're going to still look at the macro for trend lines and potential supports and resistances, but it seems pretty obvious to me here if we're looking at the daily candlestick closures, we're having difficulty getting above the 16-cent mark. And if you look here previously, we kind of draw a trend line out. We can see that was an area of support for a very short period of time. So again, just kind of reaffirming that resistance, if you will. All right, so what we're going to take a look at here first, generally, we're just going to look at simple moving averages, kind of keep it basic. If you're new to the channel, I'm kind of I like to trade with less, if you will, instead of using 50 different time frames like some people do. They're sitting there convincing themselves to take a trade. I like to try to convince myself not to take a trade. Okay, so again, it's never an exact science, folks. You know this by now. Trading is very crazy. Same thing with crypto, but coins like this have a decent propensity to, go crazy at certain times. But I don't think we're there yet. Just to be straightforward and completely frank with you, this is probably a good area of consideration for dollar cost averaging. As we can see, let's kind of just take a quick note here. We got this area here of previous resistance. We got 8.5 is a round number. We had this 8.5 cent mark where there was multiple attempts to break it. After we broke free, we came back down to retest it as a support level here. So if you can see that a little easier, I'll zoom in for you, but previous resistance, turn support. So again, when you're looking at charts, those are things you want to kind of try to identify first. So it's pretty obvious this 0.618 fib level, 8.5, 8.6 is a pretty solid support range for us. And we're at 9.5. If the price continues lower, we should expect the price to kind of hang out in that range. We got a decent amount of volume there too. If we kind of zoom out, we can see our point of control based on volume is about 7.5, secondary to that 8.5, and tertiary 9.7. So those are just some areas to consider and to be mindful of. So this is probably a pretty good dollar cost average consideration for either a spot bag or just a low leverage, longer term hold. Okay. Again, you get eaten up on fees if you use leverage, folks, so be careful holding for long periods of time. It is amazing to me how some folks will post on social media like these 2-3 month old 50x leverage trades. They're not sharing with you how much they're getting chewed up on fees, and they're probably only breaking even though it's a really high return. So just be mindful of that. Okay, anyways, enough about all that. You probably already know that if you're watching the channel anyways, but what we're looking at here on the daily time frame is, again, we're only above the 50 and the 100 SMA, below the 20. The 20 is something we really want to be back up above to have some confirmation. So me personally, a closure above 10 cents would be highly ideal. It would be something we want to look for. Again, from a perspective here of RSI, same thing as well. If we close where we're at or higher, we're be in good shape. We want to maintain this trend here. And as you can see, consistent holding at this level, about 47 on the RSI, which is concurrent in a lot of ways with this 8.5 to 9 cent range. Okay. Again, there's similar correlations between RSIs and that. The easy way you look at it, though, is if you look at money flow index is above the RSI, that's generally a bullish sign. So even though this price action is very sporadic, it does generally lean towards the price moving higher moving forward than it would be lower, considering the fact that we have more money flowing in, right? Because again, you look at this here, it was fairly sparse leading into this last 10, 20 days of trading. So ever since October 25th, this coin has really just taken off and seen a lot of buying and selling pressure. And that's usually favorable for long positions. We're above and below certain moving averages here on the 4 hours. So again, this is optimal It is not optimal, by the way. However, with our local point of control at 8.5, that implies a long between 8.5 and 9.5 seems practical, okay? Again, low leverage, nothing crazy. You don't take 100x long if that's an option for you. I think this is tradable on Mexi. You could literally do 200x. That is insane. Don't do that. Be a responsible trader. Try not to be one of those buffoons that consistently shows off how great you are because you're only sharing your good trades. That is ridiculous. Anyways, 4-hour time frame. We can see we're under 50 on the RSI, generally unfavorable. Again, being above 10 cents, in my opinion, is going to be a much better situation because we'd have confirmation above moving averages and the RSI. MACD is diverging, stochastic swinging down. These are generally unfavorable too. It's obvious that that is the case because in the last 12 to 24 hours, we've seen the price action pull back pretty hard. Let's look at the comparison between this coin and Bitcoin. I like to kind of compare the two and kind of see what the price action looks like. We can see Bitcoin is in its support range, just breaking free from that. We're establishing higher highs and higher lows. Truflation, kind of the inverse. It's pulling back, not really respecting Bitcoin, which is good. However, we want to respect Bitcoin to the upside, and that's not really doing that. This volume pump here was just kind of sporadic, and there's not a lot of consistency there between that and Bitcoin chart. Okay, so again, good and bad depending on how you look at it. So having said that, let's look at the hourly and see if there's any other confirming factors. The last main thing I like to use here on the hourly, if you're not familiar with my channel, is the Ichimoku cloud. And this lets us know that we're on the bearish side of things here. We're below the cloud. We've been so for the last 3 or 4 hours. Generally, that's shorting territory, a consideration to want to short. We have the conversion line below the baseline, lagging span is free and clear. So there's more likelihood or propensity for this coin to continue lower before it goes higher. My speculation, this is just kind of after years of looking at charts here, when we enter this kind of territory on low volume or low cap coins, we can see the price action will probably pull back to its local support range. So to me, 8.5 to the low 9-cent range seems like a much more beneficial consideration than it is currently. Again, spot bag, different story maybe altogether, because I do feel the overall trend is up here with this coin on the short term. But from a macro perspective here, or just more importantly, this hourly time frame, it's really reflecting that we're probably going to come back down to this local point of control at about 8.5 and then pivot from there. It's done it time and time again. So at this point, though, this is just not really a good trade setup for a long position as far as having confidence in taking a long. And those are the only kind of trades I like to take. While I'm not perfect by any stretch, I can tell you, though, that my conversion rate can be much higher than the average person due to the fact that I'll wait for opportunities that don't even happen, right? So I miss tons of opportunities, FOMO all the time. No, I don't FOMO, but it would be viewed as fear of missing out, but you get so used to just picking and choosing the right things that it's okay that you miss it, right? So the key takeaway here is 8.5 to 9 cents would be an optimal entry. You could consider a long now, just know that the odds are against you in taking a long. But again, we're in this little support range, folks. So this is a good, anywhere between 8.5 and 9.5 effectively is a pretty positive or beneficial situation, okay? So again, that's kind of where we're at there. That is essentially what we're looking at. So hopefully you found benefit and you didn't take offense by me just letting you know what the charts are telling us. What I'll do is I'll post a playout chart on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord and just give you perspective here on what's going on. I usually kind of post that regularly every time I analyze the charts. I also want to recognize too, though, that this coin is going to be tradable on Bitunix tomorrow. They're already putting into the works to get this available for us. There is a 60K prize pool this month by just using my link to register. You've done so before. You used my link to register in the past. You're automatically eligible, but it's a cool little trading bonus. You get a little deposit cash back as well. So fun stuff. These guys are awesome. They take great care of our community members, and I'm thankful for that. So just a no KYC, no VPN required exchange for a lot of my US Canadian members too. So that's there for you too. I hope you have a good rest of your day, though. Thanks again. Do not forget to like the video if you found benefit. We'll look forward to seeing the next one. Have a good rest of your day. We'll see you soon. Take care. Thank you.